Good Sunday to you guys. Good Sunday to you guys. Good Sunday to you guys. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can hear what is playing right now. You hear it? Have you got your tea? We're going to have kava. I'm having kava with blood orange tea today. The kava is a stress reliever. Just kind of relaxes you totally. Because we've had a lot of things that have just been bombarding us, yes? And the blood orange helps us to digest what we're going to talk about today. So, as you take a sip of your tea with me, just a sip, and listen. Have you ever cried out to the Lord to deliver you? I have. Deliver me, Lord. Because as the song says, all I seem to do is hurt me. Have you wondered why? Have you ever asked God to rescue you from yourself, from your overthinking, from your struggling with your past? Help me not to allow my past to control my future. Help me, Father God. Help me. I need you, Father, to not allow those things that have been sent to break me. Deliver me. Oh Lord, deliver me. Have you ever just cried out? So today, will you declare and decree that I will sit to get a better understanding so that I can change? Because, Father, I want something. And I know in order for me to get that something, I need to make a change. As painful as that may be. Will you say it out loud? Say it out loud. Help me, deliver me, oh Lord. Deliver me from me, my God. That just was all over me today. In church was like, how am I going to bring this to you? Because you want something, but are you willing to make a change for it? And the subtopic is going to be denial. The acronym D.E.N.I.A.L. Don't even know I am lying. Don't even know that I am lying. And yes, indeed, I have a quote for you. And the quote is, denial is the way people handle what they cannot handle. Denial is the way that people handle what they cannot handle. And that's by Shannon L. Alder. Shannon Alder. We've talked about change, and what does change look like? What does change look like? And we talked about boundaries, yes. We talked about, are you willing to set boundaries before you think about whatever it is that you're wanting to do? Are you willing to set boundaries first? Are you willing to work on your communication skills because you want something? Are you willing to get an understanding of who you are? Work on your brokenness before inflicting pain on someone else who is not the reason for your anger, your distrust. But you want something. Are you willing to make a change for it? Are you willing to recognize and acknowledge your state of living in denial because you want something? Almost a year ago today, on July 21st, 22, we had this same conversation. And there are times when we need to revisit some areas more than once. And denial and blame need to be revisited. It's like it's better the second time around. Excuse me. It was so windy this morning and my allergies are going crazy. So please forgive me. It's like when you make chili. You know, when you make chili, it's good the day that you make it, but when it sits in the refrigerator overnight and all of those ingredients marinate, the taste is so much better. I'm believing that this is going to taste so much better a year later, because I think that most of you have sat under someone. You have done some work on you, but some more work needs to be done. And are you willing to recognize and acknowledge your state of living in denial? Are you willing? Are you? You thinking about it? You taking a little sip of your tea? It's going to help it go down. You remember the Serenity Prayer? Or do you remember the Serenity Prayer? It goes like this. It says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. To accept the things I cannot change. The courage to change the things I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. Without access to the truth, there is no freedom, no recovery, no intimacy in a relationship, and often, no healing. None. I'm sorry, excuse me for just a second. Okay. No healing. Denial is perhaps the most destructive sin that we can commit. There is a degree that you will find no freedom in your life because you are still in denial. Avoiding facing the truth, being dishonest with yourself is just as deceptive and sinful as being dishonest to anyone else. So listen to that again. Avoiding the truth, facing the truth, avoiding facing the truth, being dishonest with yourself is just as deceptive and sinful as being dishonest with someone else. So think about that. You are in a new relationship and you are asked, maybe so, maybe not, what caused the demise of your other relationships? And you give them a version. That's all I'm going to say. It's a version. And you know it's not the truth. But most of all, God knows it's not the truth. So how does that working for you? John 8:32. Do you have your Bibles with you? Your life book? Let's go to John 8:32. And I'm going to do the King James Version because I like how it says this. It says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. That's as emphatic as can be. That's as point blank as it can be. It says, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. But there's another serenity prayer, if I may. And it reads as such. It says, God grant me the ability to reject the things about me that are not true, the humility to accept the things that are, and the discernment to know the difference. God grant me the ability to reject the things about me that are not true. What could that be? Well, I'm not ugly, because God said when he finished with me, it's good. That's what he said. Oh, that's good. And I'm not ignorant. No. Because that's not what the Father said about me. And what he says about me, values over anything that anyone else could say about me. I'm not fat. I'm just pleasingly plump. God grant me the ability to reject the things about me that are not true. The humility to accept the things that are, and the discernment to know the difference. Denial. What does blame say? Blame says there are always exceptions, but it is rare that any one person is totally responsible for the failure of that marriage or for that relational conflict. There are always exceptions, but it is rare that any one person is totally responsible for the failure of that marriage or for the relational conflict. There are rarely any totally innocent parties. Rarely. We all contribute something in some way. We do. We all do. This may not be easy to accept, but the fact remains we can tell a lot about ourselves by the people we are attracted to, especially in our romantic relationships. If we would stop, pull up, pump your brakes, and do a self-evaluation, what does your past look like? Look at your home life as a child. Were there persons that needed to be taken care of? Was there abuse? What was your forte in all of this? Consequently, you have been that fixer that we talk about. Your low self-esteem, your being a perfectionist, or your being a pleaser. Only when we stop justifying, only when we stop justifying ourselves and take a long, honest look at ourselves and resolve our problem. Can't fix someone else. We got to work right here. Our problems. Do we ever have any hope of a wholesome relationship? Now, I said to you all that we had a program change. And Leroy said, we can't talk about communication skills until we address the elephant in the room, right? And that's the denial and blame. We've got to address that first, this first, before we know and need to know how to fix how we're talking. Because there's something all messed up inside. So we fix the problem, not the blame. Let's fix the problem first, and then we'll get to how we communicate. Colossians 3:8, Amplified Translation. But now put away and rid yourselves completely of all these things. So we got to rid ourselves of all of these things before we work on our communication skills. Anger, rage, bad feelings toward others, curses and slander, and foul mouth abuse. Well, today is called being wretched, right? Foul mouth abuse and shame and shameful utterance from your lips. So it says, but now put away and rid yourselves completely of all these things: anger, rage, bad feelings towards others, curses and slander, and foul mouth abuse, and shameful utterance from your lips. This is not me. This is what the Life Book says. There is an answer and a resolute found in the Life Book. We only have a certain amount of emotional energy. When trying to resolve conflict, you can use that energy to either fix the blame or to fix the problem, keeping in mind that we do not have the energy to do both. We do not have the energy to do both. So, are you going to expend your energies blaming the other person? Or are you going to resolve the conflict? Relationships have weapons of mass destruction. Relationships often have weapons of mass destruction. When you use those weapons, you fix the blame, but you never fix the problem. What do those weapons look like? Threatening the divorce if you're married, threatening to walk out of a relationship, bringing up each other's parents, words, your words, and even using the children. And of this destroys a relationship by tearing down trust. Tearing down trust. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Sometimes we unconsciously choose to be ineffective, irrelevant, or even die rather than change. Denial. If we want to see change, instead of doing more of the same, which many of us tend to do, when what we are doing is not working. That's what Leandra was saying. Stop me. Deliver me. I keep repeating this same cycle. Deliver me, Lord. I am the problem. No one else to blame but me. Deliver me, O Lord. Yes. Yes. There needs to be some creative and relevant change. Nothing changes if nothing changes if nothing changes. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You keep doing what you have done, and you'll keep getting what you've always gotten. And it will keep you feeling like what you've always felt like. Nothing changes if nothing changes. John 1:10-13 says, He came into the very world He created, but the world didn't recognize Him. He came to His own people, and even they rejected Him. But to all who believed Him and accepted Him, gave the right to become children of God. They are reborn, not with a physical birth resulting from human passion or plan, but a birth that comes from God. That comes from God. Are you willing to make that decree? Are you willing to make that decree? Are you willing to bite the bullet and acknowledge that you too did something? Now, all of these past relationships were totally their fault. That you lent something to it. So before you can go any further, you need to acknowledge that which you have done. Not what that other person had done, but acknowledge what you have done. And as I bring this well over the limit of time, Dr. Darius Daniels left me with a quote that I said, we're going to finish out on this. He said, how people treat you will determine their harvest. Their harvest. How you respond will determine yours. So will you allow this to marinate this week? How people treat you will determine their harvest. We're not worried about their harvest. How you respond will determine your harvest. That's who you must fix. Because, why? You want something. But are you willing to make a change for it? You want a sip of your tea? Do you want a sip? Because when we start to talk about us, when we start to putting the focus where it needs to be, which is on us, it's kind of painful. It's hard, but it's right. So next I've got an announcement. Next Saturday, this coming Saturday, July 22nd, I'm going to be hosting a BYOL. Some of you old folks are thinking, BYO what? No, we're not bringing our own bottles. But it is for ladies only. I'm sorry, gentlemen, but it's just for the women only. Bring your own lunch. And it's going to be a Zoom. And I will post the link and the password. And we are going to discuss some things that are not discussed in church. And some of those things that have been disseminated incorrectly. And so, just a heads up. Where are we going to get good information? From the Bible. From the Bible. And we're going to start so you can go read it. Because you're going to be surprised at what comes out of which book? The Songs of Solomon. Yes, the Songs of Solomon talks about courtship. It talks about a woman's desire. It talks about a lot of things that we don't have healthy conversation. And it's just going to bring your own lunch, and we're going to chat and chew. Chat and chew. So until Saturday, July 22nd, for BYOL, bring your own lunch. We will not have tea time next Sunday, but the Sunday thereafter. And I just want to say thank you so very much for sitting with me. And go have yourself an amazing rest of this beautiful Sunday. It's hot, but it's beautiful. It's windy, and it has my sinuses going mad. But enjoy the rest of this day. Love you, mean it. Until the next time.